Every so often there are cases which come along that carry enormous significance and have ramifications for people across individual states and our nation. From the Rocky Mountains to the Smoky Mountains to the beautiful shores of our eastern, western, and southern borders to our treasured municipal public lands. The outcome of this case will set a precedent which will either encourage or discourage commercialization of our most sacred lands. Our system of national, state, and municipal parks is a model for the rest of the world. We have always given our citizens, rich and poor alike, equal access to come and revel and to celebrate our most precious parkland. The recent trend across our nation to sell or barter pieces of our public lands threatens the heart of what has made America a haven, both for the protection of our most precious wildlife and a place that people from across the world want to come and visit. With that in mind, I would like to take a moment to explain this case and why it should matter to you wherever you live. This case involves a land exchange between the city and the Broadmoor Hotel, including 189.5 acres in North Cheyenne Canyon Park, commonly known as Strawberry Fields. The park is historically significant. It was one of our nation's first municipal parks, formed not many years after Yellowstone National Park, and it was acquired by a vote of the people of Colorado Springs held in 1885, part of a national movement, in the words of a turn-of-the-century court case, to set aside places where citizens of crowded cities could recreate and breathe the pure air. Strawberry Fields is easily accessible and much used. Its heart is an alpine meadow where the Broadmoor intends to build a 100-seat picnic and barbecue entertainment center restricted to its guests. Dozens of additional acres in Strawberry Fields will be restricted as well for a horseback riding operation managed by the Broadmoor as an amenity for its resort. For over 120 years, this land has been teeming with wildlife indigenous to Colorado because of the close proximity to food and water. Lynx, mountain lions, bears, coyotes, foxes, owls, rabbits. If it lives in Colorado, it has been spotted in this truly wild habitat. Though not part of the legal case, it is worth noting that these animals will be displaced as a result of the commercialization and development of the land. In spite of widespread public opposition, including citywide polls indicating that 85% of the citizens were opposed, and petitions signed by many citizens stating their opposition, the City Council voted to convey the land anyway to the Broadmoor. For the following reasons, we believe that this was a violation not only of the will of the people, but of the law. The legal case has 5 major principles or tenets. First, Strawberry Park was dedicated as a parkland by a vote of the people, as I say, in 1885. Trading the land violates the common laws of dedication, common law rules of dedication, which mandate or require that dedicated parkland continue to be used and managed as parks. Second, the conveyance of Strawberry Fields violated the terms of the Colorado Springs Municipal Charter, which provides that the right to use city parklands must be approved by the voters and for a term of no more than 25 years. Third, the conveyance violated Section 3115.713 of the Colorado Revised Statutes, which mandates that the disposition of municipal park property must be approved by a vote of the people. Fourth, the transaction violated Article 11, Section 2 of the Colorado Constitution, which prohibits a city from offering financial preferences to a corporation. The value of the land, for the restricted appraisal that was put together on behalf of the city, was $8,300 per acre, which is far below both the tax assessor's valuations as well as independent valuations that have been done of surrounding land. It's of comparable worth. Conversely, the city allowed the Broadmoor to do its own appraisals of the trade properties, and those appraisals produced valuations of what the city was given by the Broadmoor, produced valuations that were far in excess of the assessed market values and adjoining land valuations. Fifth, the resolution violated the terms of the city's zoning ordinance. which requires that lands zoned as parks be used for park purposes and that they be available on an equal basis to all members of the public. I'd like to spend a few minutes discussing the appeal that's pending in the Court of Appeals. Although we will address all of the issues on appeal, the one we are most focusing on concerns whether or not the City Council's 1885 ordinance dedicating Strawberry Fields as a publicly owned parkland should be given full force and effect. There is no question about the City Council's intent in 1885, and we are asking the Court of Appeals to enforce that original intent as well as the will of the voters in that year. Our opponents claim that the city, under its home rule authority, essentially has unchecked power to do with the land whatever it deems appropriate, including selling or conveying it to a private party. For example, let's say that today the city accepts a new housing development with dedicated land for parks, for schools, roads and streets, and so forth. The city's current ordinances provide it with wide authority over the dedicated land that it accepts today, including the authority to dispose of parks. The city insists that these current measures, give it an unlimited power to dispose of all public lands, including parks that were dedicated to the city before it even became a home rule municipality. In contrast, our position is that it is the will of the donors, whether all of the people of the city of Colorado Springs, as is the case with Strawberry Fields, or a private party such as General Palmer, who gave so much land that makes Colorado Springs the beautiful place that it is today. We believe that will must be honored and the land must be maintained as a public park. In short, we will be advocating that the appellate court interpret the city charter and the ordinances the same way that a 2013 Court of Appeals opinion interpreted a similar provision in Denver's charter. In that case, the court said a 1950s charter of Denver contained an amendment concerning dedicated parkland that would be applied only moving forward. While in that 2013 case, Denver successfully argued that the land involved had never actually been dedicated as a park because it was not used or accepted as a park by the city. Colorado Springs is arguing something much broader and potentially much more damaging than Denver argued in that case. Colorado Springs is really saying their unlimited authority allows them to convey land which without doubt was dedicated as a park and accepted as a park in 1885. This is a historic precedent-setting case. Those cases are often more challenging, as they're addressing issues which have not yet been adjudicated. If we lose this case, it will set precedent for parklands across the nation. It will be regarded as persuasive authority by other courts for whom respect for the Colorado Supreme Court and appellate courts is very great. But if we win for those same reasons, we are setting the precedent of protecting our historic public lands from commercialization. I cannot overstate how significant this case is for the future of our public lands. We very much appreciate the support that we have received nationwide from all of you, and we look forward to continuing to work with you on this common goal of preserving and protecting our treasured heritage. Thank you very much.